Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for the element of air for May of 2026. Air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, or have air high up in your chart, then this message is for you. There is a link in the description to a natal chart. It gives you your base 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then 10 to 20 page description of what all that means, because I'm not good at it. And there is a section in there on your elemental alignment, which is kind of fun to read through. That one's not a sponsored link, it's just something that you can check out. Little convenience, you don't have to go digging for one. There are some other links down there that are affiliate links. By clicking through those, you do help the channel out. With that, we will get started. I cast the hexagram for air before the video started, and air has number 23, and the title of the hexagram is called Peeling Off. And the text is, peeling off, at present there is no goal or destination which can be sought with advantage. So for air's very organized and calculated mind most of the time, this is not going to be an easy thing in that perspective. That doesn't mean it's bad, it just means that right now you don't have a big defined goal. But let's see how this all breaks down. Our foundation line here, down here on the bottom, is, he starts the peeling off at the foot of the bed. There is no steadfastness, misfortune. So basically, you're kind of just being lazy at this point is what I'm hearing. There's no steadfastness, so you're not sticking to a schedule, you're not holding to a line. Sometimes we need that, but it might also be a little bit of chaos ensue because of it. That's that misfortune side. Your second place line, he continues peeling off the edge of the bed. There is no steadfastness, misfortune. This could also be implying if you've ever had to fight with a fitted sheet, there could be part of that misfortune. But it's really saying you really want to get something moving, but at least in the right direction. The direction might be a little hard to figure out because you're not sure what you want to do next, and that's fine. Air, could be a month where you get to make those decisions. Your third place line, he peels them all off, no error. This is saying you may end up getting to the point where you're like, you know what, the heck with this, I have got to do something. And that's not a bad thing. It just means your direction might be a little scattered right now, but sometimes getting the momentum started, all of a sudden you start to see the path ahead. The first part of this energy that's coming in here with those first two lines is saying things may be a little bit sluggish, might be a little slow, you're not quite where you normally would be, and it's because you aren't sure what direction you want to go. But by the third line, you're starting to figure it out. So your fourth place line, he continues the peeling off of the mattress of his bed, misfortune. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where you can only, what do they call it, bed rot or something, for so long, and that's going to drive you bonkers. So you don't want to make too hasty of a decision. And that's the part where, like with the third line, you're done. You're going to start doing something. The fourth line is like, yeah, you're done. You're going to start doing something. Make sure you're doing the right thing. Don't just do something and end up in the wrong spot. Our fifth place line here is, a string of fishes symbolizes the high favor enjoyed by the maids of the palace. Everything is favorable. Maybe you need to just go out and go do some fishing. Do something mindless that has minimal effort forward but has some kind of a reward. And that's like fishing, minimal effort, unless you're like going out on the ocean and that kind of stuff. Normally you're sitting on a beach or sitting on the bank of a river or a creek and you're just kind of chilling there. But you end up rewarded because you are catching something. And that's what they're saying is, this is saying everything's going to work out. Sometimes it's just taking the slower path. We'll actually show you the rewards that are available. Your capstone here, the top one, the ripe fruit remains uneaten. The superior man will acquire a carriage, whereas the mean man, average man, will lose his own house. So what you were going with is the ripe fruit. In other words, there's success. There's something available. There's some kind of a reward available to you. But how are you going to get there? The superior person is going to get a carriage, go to it, and actually solve the problem. The average person, average man, mean man, that mean when they say that's average, will lose his own home. In other words, if you're just going to be average about whatever it is and not actually get up and go chase it, you're not going to probably have the things turn out the way you would like them to, because you don't know what direction you're going, Air. So as we go through the cards here, we'll get hopefully a little more clarity. But as it's starting out, it sounds like May is going to be a little bit of a complex month for our Air family, because you have something you need to do or want to do, but you don't have a direction for it. You're just kind of aimlessly moving. But the key thing is stay moving. If you stop moving, that's where the problems come in. So let's see how the clarification from the cards comes forward. I read week by week, so there's about 4 weeks in May, so we'll do 4 sets. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, we look at a message from source, and then we look at a little more clarification from the tarot. Also, if you see something different in the cards, I'll read the cards off, and so you can hear their words. I'll add my inspired information. But if you happen to see, hear, or sense something different, feel free to comment that down below. It's always interesting to hear what other people's visions bring forward. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video. We'll get going here with your first week's guide or guardian, which is the angel Isda, and your stone is carnelian. Your energy is nourishment. Growth requires nourishment. As you grow, you gain well-being and strength, becoming a more radiant light on the planet for the spiritual benefit of all beings, including yourself. You recognize that in giving to yourself, you're giving to others. You embrace the power of your choice to nourish yourself with what truly feeds and empowers your own body, mind, and soul. You explore your own ways to be healthy. You trust in your ability to nurture yourself and others. Air, might be just you need some downtime. That's kind of where this is going. Like, you've got things to do, but it could be an aspect of yourself that's saying, now it's time to do some self-care. Like, what in the heck? You've had this whole winter of being busy doing stuff, but maybe you've let the diet slip. Maybe you've let the junk food start to pile up, or maybe you just didn't get to the gym as much as you'd like to. This is a good time, because you're not sure of a direction, to start reintegrating some of those actions. It could be that you have neglected the spouse or some social things. This is where you get to build this back up. And that's what this is saying with this angel Isda and carnelian. It's not just about physical nourishment, feeding the machine. It's also about feeding the soul that animates it. That's where you're getting into this, getting back out there, being a little more social, connecting with other people. And this is the first week. So your message from source is number 42, the net caster. Preparations come to fruition. If you're not casting the net and actually attempting to do stuff, how are you expecting to reap? If you're not planting seeds, you're not going to have a plant grow. And this is saying this first week is where you're prepping yourself for the month. You may not have a definitive direction yet. That's fine. You're casting a net. You're scattering seeds. You don't know which direction it's going to go. You don't know what's going to stick. But you're doing the action to prepare for the next steps. Your message from the tarot is the Four of Autumn. Manage resources wisely. Achieve a balance in how you spend and save money and time. Help those who are less fortunate, but don't help the lazy. There we go. The Four of Autumn is really about getting clear on the reflection. Which direction are you going? Are you going to be the more wealthy, the affluent, I know what direction I'm going? Or are you going to be this person over here, maybe not as strong and affirmed in their path as you would like? Which direction are you going? And it's okay to be either one. The Four of Autumn is saying, know where you stand, know where you start, and then you can make the decision on what direction to move forward. So you've got a pretty good start here for the month. Definitely about self-care and getting out there and being a bit more social. Cast your net wide. You don't have to make one decision in week 1, because even the I-ching's like, that ain't gonna happen. This is a time for figuring out what's going on. Your second week's guide or guardian is the goddess Tara, and the stone is Tibetan quartz. The energy coming in is her eyes ever open. So we have, you acknowledge that your inner light is growing stronger, shining brighter, just one second, and becoming more visible. You relax in the understanding that the the brighter the light, the more powerful the spiritual protection that you generate for yourself and all beings. Like I said, when you have that light and you connect in with source, the people might be drawn in, but if they're not in alignment, they're going to be driven right back out. So, you shine fearlessly and truthfully with respectful boundaries that honor the needs of all beings to choose their path. You attract and emanate high level of spiritual guidance, wisdom, and protection. And I talk about that, drawing people in and the wrong ones being driven right back out. Air, in this second week, get clear on the big themes in life. It may not be a set goal. What do you want? Do you want to have peace? Okay, how are you going to start to achieve that? There's going to be a lot of options. You want to have happiness. What kind of thing how does that look? What does it mean? Here's a challenge. What does it mean for you to be happy? Not the giggly, like, ha 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 at the comedy center. What does it mean for you to be happy? What does it mean for you to be prosperous? What does it mean for you to be successful? Not what other people are doing. Do not compare yourself to the Joneses. What are you doing? And that's what this is saying is, have your eyes open. The goddess Tara and Tibetan quartz are here to help you see clearly, get a vision going. And the first week it was cast in the net wide, so you have a lot of options, so you're just going to see what sticks. The second week, what are the top 5? Don't make a decision, but what are the top 5 options? That way you can start to have a bit more clarity. Work with your guides and guardians and allow them to show you, reveal to you what's pulling, what's catching your attention right now. Your message from tarot, or the source, is number 17, Eye of the Needle, intentionality. Be intentional in the second week. What decision are you making? I'm going to get up and I'm going to bake bread on Tuesday. Okay, do that. But make the intention ahead of time. Do this, plan your weeks out a little bit. Not everything has to be laid out in concrete, but kind of get an idea of what you're doing. That's where in that third line it talks about stripping everything away and getting going. You're doing that this week, is you're getting things prepared. It may change. That's fine. Your month is not going to be set in stone, Air. This is going to be a very fluid month for you. And that's great. But when you walk with intentionality, saying, I want to get clear on what it is I want. I want to find, what kind of energy are you looking for? If you're single and looking for a spouse, what kind of things trigger you? Loyalty, compassion, kindness to strangers, good with finances. Get clear. The physical part you can add in later, but get clear on the core values. And if you are trying to revamp something in your life, sit down and write it out. What are you trying to build? What are you trying to get clear on? And I mean physically take a pen and paper and scribble it down on like that. There's something about writing stuff out that helps to clarify in the brain. Typing does not do it quite the same way. So try it. If you've never actually sat down and journaled these thoughts, try it this week, the second week of May. Your message from the tarot is number 18, Major Arcana, so big life lesson energy here. It's the moon with powerful intuitive epiphanies, living in intention and getting clear on what you're going towards, letting go of worry and fear, and understanding the truth of a situation. This month is I just keep getting this impression that this is a month of recovery for you, where you have to do some self-care and get clear, because you've been going and going and going and going, which is great, Air. It's what you do. But even Air at times needs to recover, take a break. And so this universe, I feel like, is forcing you to take a break. And it's basically saying you're taking a break because it's time to let go of the stuff that you've just been carrying around for no reason. See what the universe guides you to in that second week. Follow your intuition, follow that inner guidance. And like I said, sit down and actually write that stuff out so you can see it on paper. Your third week's guide or guardian is the Ascended Master Mother Mary and Celestite, which Celestite's a really beautiful stone. Your energy is the unconditional trust. Unconditional trust brings relief to your heart, fresh energy to your mind, and gently lifts you into joy. You have a feeling of playfulness that awakens within your heart. You dare to open yourself willingly, faithfully, and lovingly to what is and what shall be. The universe looks out for you, has your best interests at heart, and asks for your highest good. You rest in sacred companionship with the Divine Mother, and you are open to a higher frequency of reality. You go free, graceful, and blessed that you are an inspiration for others. Air, this third week, start to understand, if you haven't already clicked into this, that you're way further ahead than you realize. The Divine Mother aspect, the Divine Feminine aspect here is coming in as the mother, and this is a comforting energy. It's a very supportive energy. It's also the energy where you get to relax. So you're giving this gift in this month of being more quiet, chilling out, getting more clear, and in this third week, this unconditional trust in the divine aspect, where you may not have to know the whole plan, which may not be an easy thing for air to accept, but that's okay. When you rest with divine, there's times where you're going to be running and just going and keeping it up and rushing around, fine. But then there's other times where the universe is like, it's time for a break. You may not even notice that you need it yet, but you do. And that's what is coming in this month, is you didn't really want the break, but the universe is saying, you need it, too bad. Your message from source is number 10, the deep dive, diving into a task. Pick up that novel that you've been putting off because you always have something better to do. Pick that novel up, read it. Watch that movie that you've been putting off forever, especially if you've got that one friend that keeps yapping in your ear because, have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet? It's such a good movie. Have you watched it yet? Watch it. This third week especially, take the time to do something that's just straight up frivolous and enjoyable, that doesn't have any big goal in mind. And that's what they're saying, is when you dive into this energy of, you know what, I'm going to trust in source. I'm going to follow my instincts, my intuition, and I'm going to go with the flow. When you start to go with the flow, you'll notice there's ups and downs. There's ebbs and flows. There's waves and there's low points. You are in this energy of a shift. You're in a low, quiet point. When I say low, I don't mean negative. I mean quiet. Your energy is not needing to be up there running around all the time. And this is a time for you to kind of recharge, refresh. Get that energy moving in the right direction. Take the break. Honestly, the universe is offering you one this month, air. I would just embrace that. Like I said, read that book. If you've been wanting to go out and go for that hike, or you want to go hang out with that friend that you keep putting off, the third week looks like a great week to do that. Schedule that in now. Your message from the tarot is the Prince of Autumn, dependable, protective, chivalrous, and humorous. Learn to laugh. Or remember how to laugh. That's a better term. Not learn, you know how, air. Remember to laugh. Cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, and kindness to others. This is air energy, even though I think this is an earth card. You want to have fun. Go do something. Be careful. Don't have to go rush out and do something dangerous or something chaotic. That's where that cautious but wise action. Do the things that bring light into your world. Do the things that bring you joy. Meticulous action to detail, attention to details, is talking about getting clear on what it is you want to do eventually. You don't have to start today, but figure out, okay, what do I need to kind of bring into play to make this work? You're not acting on any of that, but you are setting yourself up for success, even though right now is not the time for the hyperactive part of you. This third week is kind of the, okay, you've had your break, taking a deep breath, and you've made some decisions. You know the direction at least. We're not ready to take a launch just yet, but you're getting there. Our fourth week's energy, which is the last week of May, we have the Archon Barbello. Not sure if I like that term or not. And the stone is picture jasper, which is a nice stone. Your energy coming in is supportive energy. You choose to accept the reality that there is support for all levels of your being. You lean into the loving embrace of the universe so that you can experience complete and ultimate spiritual fulfillment in such a way that all beings gain spiritual benefit from your attention. As you trust in this divine support, your courage and boldness increase, and you choose to live with unconditional trust and confidence in the divine's grace and attention. The universe is offering you a rest period and is saying in this last week, understand how much support you really do collect from spirit. As you go through this month, your intuition might be a little more awakened than normal, and that's great. That's You usually work with logic and reason, but your intuition, bring that into play and see how unstoppable you could really become. And again, everyone's going to have a different experience, but this month for air is saying, take the breather, allow your intuitive guidance, your gut feelings, and that still small voice in the back of your head, bring forward more information and allow yourself to merge all of that together, because you're going to end up, I feel like you're going to have a completeness that by the end of this, you're just going to feel more whole. I mean, you're whole already, but you're going to have that sensation or awareness that you actually are there. Your message from Source is number 39, Me Talks. Me Talks? It is Me Talks. Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Source wants you to take care of yourself. Yes, you're always out there doing things. You're always busy. You're staying, like I've got this 20-year plan. I've got to plan each minute of it out. That's not always necessary. The Me Talks is saying put some of this chaos off to the side and actually allow yourself to heal and recover. In this 4th week, you have the support of the universe. The 3rd week as well, but the 4th week is where we're at. So you have that support of the universe. And when you get clear and open to the fact of maybe you just need a minute, maybe you just need some downtime, the body, mind, spirit, the body, mind, and soul start to merge back together. Instead of being separate, well, I pray over here, I do this over here, blah, 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 you're merging things back. You're remembering the wholeness of who you are. And air, you're really being blessed this month with this downtime. It may feel like nothing's happening and it's a little bit chaotic because you're peeling off all these layers of things. Yeah, but I feel like Source is trying to show you that this is time for you to reconnect with yourself and reconnect with some outside interests as well, friends, interests that you put off to the side because you're always so busy. Maybe don't be so busy this month. And don't, not to let things like slack and carry and fall apart, but you also don't need to be running all the time. So this message from Source is the 4 of Spring, or from the tarot is the 4 of Spring. Be grateful. You have much to celebrate. True. Deep feelings of peace and happiness. That's the goal. And a contented personal life. Air. Source wants you to understand, yes, things may not be busy as you'd like them to be, but notice in the quiet times, in the times of intimacy, whether it's with your partner or just friend group where you're, reconnecting, those are the times when things really start to blossom. That's when you have the joy of living. That's when that celebration of existence comes back into play. And that's that deep feeling of peace that comes with it. The happiness that goes beyond common joy, because it's yours and it's bubbling up inside where you just know everything's going to work out. You know things are going to be the best possible action because you know you've already been through so much, and even if it's good, bad, and different, you've been through it all. And now you know how to handle situations. You're still going to have those other situations coming forward. But isn't it cool that Source is there to support you? And isn't it awesome how much you've learned and experienced and allowed yourself to grow through that? Take May as a time of relaxation. You're peeling away all of the nonsense. You're still doing the things that need to be done, like going to work and all that, the more boring stuff. But you're in a situation now where the Source is saying, take some time for yourself. We're here. We're going to help guide you. But take the time to really embrace who you are as a person again. With that, I will let you go. Have a great month of May, and I'll see you in the next video.